To some, Google's acquisition of YouTube, it just seems like another day of boring financial news, but $1.65 billion is no figure to laugh at. This is big business, folks. Is the website really worth it, though? That's the question. The place is full of some incredibly random user-generated content, not to mention a lot of copyrighted work. So will the new bosses ruin our beloved YouTube? Broadcast yourself, kids and ladies. It's The Loop. Joining us tonight from San Francisco, contributor to CNET, Mollywood is back for more punishment, and from New York, blogger for Google Watch, Steve Bryant joins us. Welcome to The Loop, everybody. Molly, I want to start with you here. As the casual viewer here, our folks at home are watching, they're on YouTube, they're making videos, they're part of the community, they're entrenched. How does this acquisition by Google affect them? How is this going to harm me when I wake up in 3 to 4 months down the road?
Well, I'm sure you're panicking a little bit because everybody knows that Google wasn't so kind when they bought Blogger. I mean, they said they would leave them alone, and
I've already screen printed 14 protest shirts. I'm very angry here, and they're open source, by the way, if you want to get them. That's the kind of man I am.
But they say, they say they're going to leave it alone, and I actually think YouTube is going to be left alone. That doesn't mean it's not going to change, though, because YouTube, unfortunately, is finding out that they're going to have to go legit. So some of the content's going to change. It might turn out to be a good thing, though, because you might be getting a full TV show, for example, from the network instead of like 10 minutes of that show.
True, but over $1 billion to buy a brand and then leave it alone. I mean, Steve, you wrote on your blog that you thought it might have been a hasty decision by Google. Do you think Yahoo forced their hand? I know they were in the running for it. Do you think Google really acquired a company and paid this absorbent amount of money and they really aren't going to do anything with it?
Yeah, no, they'll do something with it eventually. It'll be months down the road. I mean, as much on the conference call was said, and they really don't have any idea as of yet what the first priority for them as far as changes go. I think that it was either Steve Chen or Chad Hurley who was like, we really don't know what we're going to do first.
We're going to hang out, start a company softball team, and maybe make some movies.
We're going to go a few interviews. Yeah.
Molly, what do you think? I mean, Google here. We're talking about Google. Would they really buy a company without having a grand master plan, especially spending billions of dollars?
I'm not trying to say they're not going to do anything with YouTube. I just think they aren't going to go in and Googleify it and totally change it. But, they're going to be advertising all over that sucker. They definitely bought YouTube because it's a huge advertising platform with about a bajillion eyeballs. They're definitely going to index all those YouTube videos so that their video search is turning up YouTube videos everywhere you look, which is actually going to make their search really great. So I think you'll definitely see some changes, but I think they're not going to, take it apart. They're very into the YouTube community. They said that they want to build it up, and I think that they're going to stick to that.
Well, here's the thing. Part of the YouTube community involves a lot of copyrighted works. Clips of this show's on there. Howard Stern this morning was talking about how he's going to sue YouTube because his video-on-demand content's on there. And a couple weeks ago, Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, the guy's a millionaire himself. He owns several Segways. He said, listen, someone would be crazy, absolutely nuts. They'd be, quote, a moron to purchase Google. And now he updated his blog. He said, listen, I still think Google is a bunch of morons, essentially because they're going to be sued now for all the copyright infringement. I mean, Steve, do you think this is going to happen? Is this the end of Asian guys singing NSYNC songs or a bunch of colored co-eds dancing to Shakira? Because that's why I go to YouTube.
And me too. I actually go for people that have like daisies for prehensile tails and stuff like that. But you know what? Everybody has this thing where YouTube is Napster. It's like we have this collective Vietnam nightmare about the wars we've been in before. I don't think that's going to happen because I think what Google's going to try to do very effectively, at least I hope, is that they will convince content owners and copyright owners that it's better to have, economically for them, to have their stuff visible on YouTube's site and to be in partnership with YouTube than to sue them. That said, people are probably going to sue YouTube, and I think there's been some rumblings about that.
Sure.
Today.
Well, Molly, we've heard that there has been some deals struck. Certain major networks are going to make their content available. But do you think Google's going to be the catch-all for this kind of content on the internet? We know Fox has MySpace. They're going to put their clips there. Do you think they're going to be suing over a Stewie Griffin Family Guy clip popping up on YouTube a couple months down the road?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't think that there's the flood of lawsuits, the line of people waiting to sue like there used to be. But I think they're definitely going to have a little problem with Fox. And it's either going to be that they're never going to be able to get Fox content onto YouTube, which will be a problem since they've signed deals with CBS and Warner Music and Universal. Or I guess it's possible that Fox could line up and try to sue them. I think so far, though, they've been within the law. They've taken down content when they're asked. And I think that a lawsuit probably wouldn't get that far. And frankly, Google can afford to defend themselves.
This is true. If there's one company with the pockets deep enough to fight that fight, it's Google at this point. I mean, Steve, now, in their press conference yesterday, Google was touting their copyright detection systems. Apparently, they're going to automatically scan videos and be able to keep off, watermark content. Do you really think this is a reality, or is this just kind of fluff to kind of keep those lawyers at bay in the meantime?
Yeah, I think it's kind of fluff. I think that it'll definitely happen. I think that with YouTube's similar copyright protection system, both companies are developing, it seems like, that might become the de facto standard for a video sharing site, which might actually mean bad things for other video sharing sites.
All right, Molly, very quickly, do you think that Google paid far too much for YouTube, or do you think it was a sound investment at this point in time?
I think looking at the way that it's changed online video, and it'll probably change the way we watch television and how many people they can advertise to, I think it's not too much money.
All right, there you go. It's obvious to some, $1.65 billion apparently isn't too much to pay for the place where the cool kids hang out. However, if anyone could figure this out and make it work for everyone, I got to say, personally, I think it's probably Google. So stay tuned, everybody. Thanks to Steve and Molly for keeping us in the loop.